eyes are heavy blue, one to love and one to lose. Sweet divine, the heavy truth, water or wine, don't make me choose. I wanna feel the way that we did that summer night. Drunk on a feeling, alone with the stars in the sky. I've been running through the jungle, I've been running with the wolves to get to you, to get to you. I've been down the darkest alley, saw the dark side of the moon to get to you, to get to you. I look for love and every stranger took too much easy anger, all for you, yeah, all for you. I've been running through the jungle, I've been crying with the wolves to get to you, to get to you, to get to you. Your fingertips trace my skin to places I have never been. Blindly I'm following, break down these walls and come on in. I wanna feel the way that we did that summer night. Drunk on a feeling, alone with the stars in the sky. I've been running through the jungle, I've been running with the wolves to get to you, to get to you. I've been down the darkest alley, saw the dark side of the moon to get to you, to get to you. I look for love and every stranger took too much easy anger, all for you, yeah, all for you. I've been running through the jungle, I've been crying with the wolves to get to you, to get to you, to get to you.
I've done my sentence, but committed no crime. And bad mistakes, I've made a few. I've had my share of sand kicked in my face, but I've come through. I need to go on. We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. I've taken my bows and my curtain calls. You brought me fame and fortune and everything that goes with it. I thank you all, but it's been no bed of roses, no pleasure cruise. I consider it a challenge before the whole human race, and I ain't gonna lose. I need to go on. We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the
together, like we were something more. And it felt like maybe we could last forever, forever. But you let them to our hideout, forced away inside. Now they want us to surrender, us to surrender. But I could go all night, right here between their crossfire. We'll send them up a message. I send a message. We'll say, give it up, give it up. We've got no place to go, caught up in the rodeo.
2023, a new year brings new opportunities. A new year also means time for another challenge. Arizona State rings in 2023 with a series against a familiar division rival. Tonight, the Sun Devils welcome the Ducks to the desert. Will the Ducks fly high, or will the Sun Devils scorch them? Ducks, Devils. Find out next on ACHA Hockey YouTube.
Hello everyone and welcome inside Oceanside Ice Arena in Tempe, Arizona. I'm Brett Vaughn alongside Keanu Noguchi. Now Cooper will be coming momentarily. Arizona State's hosting the Oregon Ducks in a second game of a two-game series here this weekend. Last night, Keanu, Arizona State played maybe one of their best games of the year, winning by the score of 7-1.
Yeah, it's a new year, and, it looks like a new ASU team this year. They came out absolutely energized. They were flying, seemingly capitalized on every opportunity they got. They're throwing pucks in the net. They looked fast. Passes were connecting. They looked absolutely lethal yesterday, and they took advantage of it.
Exciting times for one Arizona State player, number 29, Ian Erdman, transfer coming in during the winter break, and he's somebody that the head coach is really excited about.
Yeah, definitely. This is a player that Coach Kleins kind of spoke very highly about, someone coming into a new organization, coming from a junior program. There's high expectations for someone like this. It seems like he hasn't missed a beat or skipped a beat at all. He stepped right into the squad, and he looks ready to go as well. He's ready for today.
Folks, puck drop is just under a minute away, and we'll show you now the starting lineups just in a bit here on Arizona State Hockey YouTube. Welcome back inside Oceanside Ice Arena in Tempe, Arizona. I'm Brett Vaughn, alongside now Cooper and Keanu Deguchi. And before we get the action underway, we'll introduce you to tonight's starting goaltenders. For the visiting Oregon Ducks, it'll be again number 41, Matt Server, the freshman. Faced a lot of rubber last night in the loss to Arizona State. For the Sun Devils, it's going to be number 31, Dawson Rodine. Rodine hasn't played since December 9th against GCU, and he's looking to get a win tonight. It was a very close first period going back to last night's game, as Oregon had a couple dynamite chances, but it was Eric Garber saving ASU's bacon, keeping it at a 0-0 game before ASU got the offense going. And Oregon wins the opening draw as they have to retrieve it back in their own zone. Battling for it, the defenseman Andres dumps it in. Andres, the only Duck scoring last night. His shot on gets redirected up and out of play by Rodine. Draw one this time by ASU and Elliot Plurd. DeBolt, my player of the game last night for ASU. Out there trying to get the puck out, he can't though. Aaron pass, Rodine playing some heads-up hockey, recognizing where the puck was going to be, and he shepherded away from his net. Plurd takes the puck away. Stick handles with it, finds Lackey. Lackey short angle shot on, goes behind the net. ASU trying to finish up a change. Kruk just bats it down deep, but gets blocked, and the Ducks chip it out and go for a change. $18:30 in this first period, just started here in Tempe. Ducks having a little trouble trying to get it out of their own end. Platt is able to use the help from his teammates. And the captain, Austin Poltz, chips it in. And it looks like it took a redirection from an Oregon player, and we'll have a whistle with 18-11 in this first period. Try one by the Ducks. But that point shot goes into the corner. Roots on his shot on. It's a high tip from Oregon. They end up touching it though, and we'll have a whistle. Be interested to see the response from Oregon. Definitely not the result they wanted. But maybe the cobwebs might have shaken off, as this is their first time playing at the Division I level here in Tempe. There's some miscommunication with a couple of linesmen, and so they'll decide where this puck will be dropped. One by ASU. Kate Olson, indirect play to Cooch. He'll forklift that into the far side boards. Ice is a little wet as the Ducks are having a tough time trying to get the puck out. First stop for Server as he blockers that in the corner. Neither team unable to get any footing in this game, as ASU is a little too eager on the dump in, and they're offside. Looks to be the face-off now. Will be going into Arizona State's end as they deem that offsides to be deliberate. Draw one by Oregon. Bruslovsky. He is trying to work it up to his defenseman Thornton, but it's an errant pass and they'll have to regroup. Kylie Ram touching the puck, one of those Arizona State players, getting back into the lineup as he was battling an injury. Puck. Skated out by Bruslovsky. Gets some help from Hannon. In the right corner, and there's that new Arizona State Sun Double Keanu mentioned, Ian Erdman on the back check, and he clears it out. Tillman applying the pressure on Poltz. Poltz drops it, but it's in the skate of Bruslovsky. He's trying to find it. Kylie Ram harassing there. Now it's Keller. Keller in the corner, but no ASU players were there to help him. And he's really doing it all by himself this shift. Great effort. Keller finally touches it and will have a whistle, and it looks to be a penalty. Ends up being a high sticking call to Bruslovsky, and what do you know, the great effort shown by Keller on the forecheck by himself ends up getting Arizona State their first power play of the game. Arizona State taking their time a little bit on that change as they're trying to get the right power play unit out. They do. Arizona State, although they didn't win the draw, they have possession of it. Studioso. Marchand at the point. Marchand, he scores! A seeing-eye puck. 2 or 3 bodies in the way of the goaltender for Oregon server, and it's 1-0.
And Brett, looks like I showed up at just the right time here. A wonderful shot from Marchand. Seeing eye right through the middle of the slot. He lined that one perfectly and picked that bottom right corner. Nothing that server could have done on that one, as there were a lot of bodies between him and the net. And Arizona taking advantage of that power play opportunity afforded to them early in this game. And it might be nice and cold in this rink, but Arizona State's still red hot.
I think they might have gotten word on the bench that you just pulled in the parking lot, and they wanted to wait to make sure that you can give your great analysis on a goal. Glass on the forecheck for the Ducks. That puck will find its way to the other side of the boards. Whoa, and that when that hit in the corner, that looks like that boards wasn't faceted, and luckily Jack Hosworth for ASU is up to his feet.
Man, I haven't seen that one on this rink yet, Brett. That check coming in so hard, it put him right through the boards over there where the referees head off during the intermissions to warm up. And Hosworth's got a nice smile on his face heading back to the bench.
We'll have the face-off in the Arizona State zone, won by the Ducks, but it's a poor pass. Andres has to go D to D. Play waved off for a high stick touch. In the corner, centered in front. Plurd had to get there in time as Gagnon had a great opportunity.
And good to see Dawson Rodin getting a little action early in this game. As last night it was Eric Garber between the pipes, and he didn't see too much action that first period. The Sun Devils really dominated the first 20 on Friday night.
Slayton's quick shot on, and that's blocked by Nayleen Lackey. Lackey has some time and space. He'll take it, the wrist shot, misses wide. Monroe felt some pressure as Marchand was on the back check, and he'll elect to skate it back in his own zone. 14:45 in this first period, and Arizona State goes offsides.
Brendan Studioso coming off a great game last night, scoring a hat trick for the Sun Devils. As that top line of Studioso, Lackey, Plurd looked mighty dangerous last night. And I think your favorite line, Brett, here steps on the ice, the energy line.
Yep, they end up losing the draw, though. Ian Erdman, the defenseman, back in his own zone. Gets some help from Young, but it's turned over to Thornton. Rodin saw that one all the way. Partner, wasn't able to get your thoughts on how ASU performed in last night's game. Maybe one of their best performances of the season. Cooch by himself, waiting for some teammates and overskating the puck with Schultz. Point shot on from Erdman, misses wide. As that chance was generated by Cooch's great work on the defensive end, and he gets a backhand shot in front. And Server had to be alert. Another point shot on, and Server gobbles that one up.
And to go back to your point you brought up there, Brett, I believe you were asking about the Arizona State coming off that big win last night. And I think it would have been safe to say both of us expected a better effort out of Oregon for tonight. You don't exactly want to come out after a 7-1 whopping and finish off that road trip on a sour note. And I expect we're going to see the best from the Ducks as this game goes forward.
Slayton hands it to Voiles. Oregon with some speed. Monroe. Shot on, and that's blocked by the stick of Marchand. Jamernick runs in a couple Sun Devils in the corner. Play will come out the other side. Arabian, Keller. Now to Lanfear. And the rebound was loose for a moment, but Server is able to get his hand over it.
Interesting, I thought we might have seen a different goaltender coming into tonight's game after Server saw all 60 minutes last night between the pipes for the Ducks. But head coach Kyler Moore entrusting him to put up a great effort on back-to-back nights.
Oregon defenseman Voiles had to shake off a check from Keller. Breslavsky hands it over. It'll find Strategos. Strategos, and he scores! Quick shot from Strategos. It looked like he was going to stick handle it for a little bit, but he ends up having that quick piercing shot beat the right pad of Rodin.
And it was indeed a good shot there by Strategos. I like the way as he's coming in on that right face-off dot, right as he's about to release the puck, he just draws it in a touch to slightly change the angle on Rodin. And that was just enough to kind of squeeze under the waffle board of Rodin right above that right leg pad of his and just slot in the corner of that net. A good shot by Strategos, and the Ducks right back in this. It's 1-1.
Kruk has to settle that puck down. Indirect play. That'll take a friendly ASU hop to Kylie Ram. Kylie Ram button hooks, and Andres pins him up to the boards. Oregon just tying this one, making this a 1-1 score. Sean Kylie Ram trying to peel that puck off the wall. They'll finally do so. Kylie Ram, a quick tight turn in the corner. Tillman plays it back down, and that ends up touching the netting, and we'll have a whistle. Couple lineup changes for ASU coming into tonight's game. Couple of the forwards, one defenseman, but all in all, looks to be the same group.
And hard not to want to keep the same group out there after the game last night.
Getting that puck first was Kroos. Gives it to Glass. Glass's centering pass Gets sticked away by Rodin. And we'll have a whistle as referee didn't like that hit that was given on Studioso, and it's going to be an elbowing call to Oregon. ASU will go back to work on the power play for the second time this period. Lackey at the point will have it. Marchand shot on rebound in front, a juicy one, but it came to Oregon's stick and they'll clear. ASU slows it down as they try to come out with a controlled breakout. It's a tape-to-tape pass to Studioso. Curls back up to the blue line. 30 seconds. Already his pass on the man advantage. Shaw trying to jam that one in. He gets shown to the side by Thornton. Studioso fakes it. Marchand in front. Tillman had an opportunity, but he just fans on the shot. Studioso still with it. It's on Lackey's backhand. He can't shoot it right away. ASU possessing the puck a lot, but they finally turn it over and Oregon can get a change.
And I like a lot of the movement there from the Sun Devils. Studioso, some good instances there on the puck, but I think you need to be a little more happy to shoot that with some of the shooting lanes the Ducks were affording the Sun Devils.
Young trying to find Plurd, but gets poked away for the moment. Fresh Sun Devils out on the ice. Kylie Ram. Kruk follows that one up. His shot saved by Server. Oregon will clear it down. 25 seconds left on the power play. ASU had to be careful there as Henningsgaard was applying pressure, and he'll go back to the bench. And ASU ends up touching the puck, and looks to be some miscommunication on the bench that led to that penalty.
There was definitely some miscommunication and a little bit too late of communication after the fact. You could hear the bench yelling, telling one of the players to get off. Not sure who was the guilty party in terms of hopping on a little too quick. Nonetheless, an undisciplined penalty there from Arizona State on the power play. You don't see very often when you're on the man advantage, a team getting assessed a too many men penalty. Just a little lackadaisical there from Arizona State.
Oregon wins the draw. Monroe, about 5 seconds left, and Oregon will be on the power play. Hannon, passing the skates into his teammate, allows ASU to go the other way. Nice defensive play by Hannon, and Oregon is now on the power play. DeBolt and Monroe up. Bruslovsky to the right half wall. Mitchell sheds a check from Cooch. Walking out in front, still loose in front. Rodin, great job of sealing that near post, and we'll have a whistle.
And one thing that could be a positive coming out of this penalty kill for Arizona State is if Dawson Rodin can see a little bit of rubber and get in a bit of a rhythm. That goal by Strategos, a great shot from that right circle, but also a shot that you expect Dawson Rodin to save 9 times out of 10. I'm sure he would love to have that opportunity back. And after that good save, maybe he'll start feeling himself a little bit more here.
Right corner, Andres gets it back. Down low that puck. Not really settling down for Oregon right now. Gagnon. Henningsgaard shot on, rebound in front, and we'll finally have a whistle. Rodin had to work to find that puck, but he makes the stop.
One of my favorites, the classic rendition of Hungry Hungry Hippos there by Dawson Rodin, swallowing that puck up.
ASU can't clear it off the draw. One-timer shot from Gagnon, and that one ends up shooting off the leg pad of Rodin and out of play. And that was a quick shot. I don't think ASU was really expecting it.
No, and that shot seemed to explode off the stick of Gagnon, only gaining velocity as it got closer to the net. You could tell by the reactionary attempt by Rodin to get his pad on that and force it up into the netting. That was coming in a little hot to handle.
Oregon wins the draw again. Shot on from Poltz, misses wide. Kylie Ram, ASU has numbers. Kylie Ram, I'm not sure if he was aware of that. He's trying to clear it now, but he can't. And that opportunity he will. Server will elect to play the puck. He had to be a little careful, though, as he almost lost his edge.
Matt Server doing his best Niall Cooper impersonation if I've ever seen one. That looks like me every time I get on skates.
Sanger, 2-on-1 for Oregon, and this time Rodin was ready for that shot out on the left, onto his left side, and that was a big stop, a 2-on-1 opportunity.
Definitely a big stop by Dawson Rodin. As we mentioned, it's going to be important tonight for him to do well, as Eric Garber seemed to slightly take control of that net in what was an early timeshare and has lately leaned a little more towards Eric Garber. Dawson Rodin, a great goalie in his own respect. And I expect we'll see him getting a lot of ice time down the stretch here as Arizona State has some huge weekends on the horizon.
ASU kill off the rest of that penalty, and we're back to even strength action. Oregon dumps this one in. It rolls behind the net of Rodin. That'll find Ryan Green, but his defenseman, Seth Platt, can't keep the puck in. No icing on that dump in. ASU turns it over in the neutral zone. 7:55 in this first period. It's a 1-1 hockey game. Cross-ice pass to Lackey. Delane drops it for Plurd. The one-timer shot, rebound in front. Studioso couldn't get there in time, and it's cleared just out to center ice. In the corner, Plurd trying to get that puck out of that rugby scrum. Still sealed to the wall, and it's taken away by the Ducks. Bruslovsky, a heads-up play to Green. Give and go play. Bruslovsky's shot misses wide. Oregon looks like they maybe have a little bit of momentum after that power play.
Definitely a good bit of momentum here for Oregon. I thought a great chance there for Bruslovsky. That puck maybe hopping a little too much for him at the last second. Otherwise, a great chance.
Turnover, Oregon. Shot on from that time Strategos as he was looking for his second. Big hit in the corner by Studioso, but Oregon still controls the puck. Erdman will find Lackey on the breakout, and ASU will dump it in and go for a change. Kruk latches onto that turnover. Studioso drops it down. Drop pass as Lanfear ends up overskating it. Not sure if he expected that one, and Oregon unable to clear it. Skating out of his own zone was Monroe. Ends up deking a couple ASU players nicely. And that puck's dumped in. Kruk and Monroe meet each other in the corner. Ends up getting tripped up there was Jammernick, but no call on the play. Kruk, not sure where it is. It was underneath him. Lanfear trying to get that puck out. Keller. Cooch now. He can't. And Lanfear's effort will finally get it out.
Lanfear a little lucky as he goes to the bench for a change on not getting assessed a penalty.
Cooch gets the turnover in the center ice line, and Server wasn't the surest of saves, but he was able to track his rebound down with 5:26 left in the first period.
And you stated momentum earlier, Brett. You can really feel it as you watch this game right now. The Ducks are skating with a little more of a purpose. You can see that they're really zoned in right now, trying to play a better game defensively. Last night they had a lot of turnovers at their own blue line, And if they can avoid those tonight, they're going to be right in this game to the very end.
Olsen's point shot gets some help from Phillips, but his aim misses wide. Kept in by Olsen. Schultz trying to battle for that one, but it's taken away by Henningsgaard. Oregon trying to go with numbers, but they turn it over. Sun Devils slow it down. Under 5 minutes in this first period. It's a 1-1 score. Boyles with a nice escape turn. He dumps that puck in, and he'll reward himself by going to the bench for a change. Henningsgaard working on Olsen behind the net. Out in front, Rodin was able to just poke it away from Glass. Not allowing a shooting opportunity. Another shot on from the point by Glass. That was a tricky one there, but ASU players were able to help out their goaltender. Puck ends up going up and out of play. And it seems to me that ASU is maybe missing a little juice, a little energy from what we saw last night.
Certainly the case. The energy not quite to that maximum level that they cranked out early in last night's game. We saw Damon Porter not dressed for tonight's game. He's up here in the press box taking the action, and certainly he had a great game last night. Maybe not showing up as much on the score sheet, but more so just out of the corner of your eye, doing all the little things that make it possible for everyone else to succeed.
Young bats that pass down, and he'll skate it. ASU have numbers. Young, his pass behind Tillman. It'll find Shaw. Shaw gets around one Oregon player out in front. Kylie Ram shot, and that misses wide. Young looking for a redirection, but that'll scoot through. Out to the other side, Oregon. And that's a nice keeping by Tillman. Shaw, snapshot on. That ends up hitting the body going wide. Oregon. Looks like they might be able to clear it, but they can't as it's batted down by Tillman. A couple big keep-ins on this shift for him. Stretch pass for ASU as Oregon was going for a wholesale change. Area pass just out of the reach for Kylie Ram. Now Oregon with fresh legs. The other way, Strategos ends up getting met at the blue line by Kruk and stood up. Nobody can collect the puck for the moment, but it'll come to Oregon. Shot on as Rodin had to be careful as the defenseman Andres was streaking through looking for a possible redirection play.
Rodin clearly feeling pretty confident here. Oregon already up to 12 shots on goal, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is a feat I don't think we saw last night until maybe the middle stages of the second period.
Draw one by Oregon, but Andres' point shot gets blocked. Ducks will dump it back in. Little miscommunication between Hosworth and Kruk on who is going to get that puck. That allows Oregon to get a great opportunity, and what a stop by Rodin. Strategos looking dangerous again for his second goal of the game.
Strategos looking to the heavens after that attempt as he was all alone, just inches in front of the blue paint. And Dawson Rodin put that glove up, secured that puck, and made it look like it was nothing special, when in fact that was one of the best saves I'm sure we'll see tonight.
Rodin ends up letting that early one in, but after that, it looks like he's a man possessed now. Oregon back to work again. Wraparound play. Nobody there but an ASU player, and that's taken out. Marchand, he's got a couple Ducks on him. That'll find Olsen. Cross ice play to Studioso, shot on rebound in front. Server diving around, and he somehow gets the stop.
And that was one heck of a job by Brendan Studioso, knocking down that pass that was coming in a little hot and a little high. And it almost looked like he went tweeners between the legs to secure it and then rip that shot. The rebound was loose, but Server doing a good job using all of that 6'4", 220 frame to get behind that puck and keep it from going in.
Henningsgaard wins the draw for the Ducks. Boyles. He'll have a Tape-to-tape breakout. Exit out of their own zone. Kroos, Henningsgaard helping him out. Ducks having a lot of success working underneath the goal line. Henningsgaard, his shot on, misses high. Lackey the stretch pass. Studioso by himself. Studioso, oh, what a stop by Server. And a couple brilliant saves from each goaltender.
Aretha Franklin ringing in the background here, and you have to pay your respects to the goaltenders right now. Flashing leather saves at both ends of the ice. Absolutely amazing from Server there. Studioso was in all alone from the blue line, and he went for the patented Charlie Conway triple deke. Forehand, backhand, forehand, nothing doing against Server.
Young looking for a redirection, misses a stick of Phillips. This game has a little bit of juice to it now. Cleared away by Oregon. DeBolt has to hustle as Glass is right on him. Puck takes a couple of skips, ends up being deemed an icing call by the linesman. And with 62 seconds left in the first period, a faceoff will be in ASU zone.
And I love the competitive nature of this game. You alluded to it a few minutes ago, partner. Oregon feeling a little more confident, and I think really playing to their strengths. They're a little bit bigger of a team than Arizona State, and they seem more committed to wanting to get into the dirty areas, work below the goal line, and clearly they're having a lot of success right now in generating offense in that fashion.
Young sealed up behind the net of Rodin. Ref has deemed the puck's moving just enough for him not to blow the whistle down. Schultz activates from the center ice line. He gets tangled up with Mitchell. Phillips, with the hard work, ends up getting it out to the neutral zone, and the puck will pop up. And maybe to a lucky souvenir, it looks like a couple of newborns over there.
No better way to ring in the christening of life, Brett, than to take in some hockey at Oceanside Ice Arena. Those poor kids aren't going to know what hits them when they grow up and realize that all these great memories they have in the cold and this Arctic tundra were actually in one of the hottest states in all of the U.S.
Face-off won by ASU in the center circle. Kruk turns it over. Strategos, he could be a 2-on-1 opportunity. Strategos that was a diving block by Hosworth to negate the pass. 13 seconds now. Braslovsky is shot on, and Rodin had to be ready to go, and he was.
Braslovsky doing his best Strategos impression there as he walked it in to that right face-off dot and just tucked in a quick snapshot from his left skate and tried to go short side this time on Rodin. Rodin, some great positioning, though, saving him there, able to make the save.
Henningsgaard trying to get that shot off. He can't. Braslovsky will just chop at that one. Couple of seconds left. Kruk ends up just pinning that puck to the wall, and that'll do it for the first period of play.
And a good opening period tonight. A very competitive affair. The Sun Devils coming out not quite with the level of intensity we saw for the majority of last night. Dawson Rodin had to make a couple of big saves just to keep them in this. Meanwhile, at the other end of the ice, you have to appreciate what Oregon's doing. They're really coming out and giving Arizona State all they can handle.
Exciting first 20 minutes of play, and folks, will bring you live second period action in just under 15 minutes. At the end of one, ASU 1, Oregon 1. This is Arizona State Hockey YouTube.
Hello out there, we're on the air. It's hockey night tonight. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players bump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Second period. where players dash with skates aflash. The home team trails behind, but they grab the puck and go bursting up, and they're down across the line. They storm the crease like bumblebees. They travel like a burning flame. We see them slide the puck inside. It's a 1-1 hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Third period, last game in the playoffs too. Oh, take me where the hockey players face off down the rink, and the Stanley Cup is all filled up for the champs who win the drink. Now the final flick of a hockey stick and a one gigantic scream. The puck is in, the home team wins the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game.
Welcome to your life. There's no turning back. Even while we sleep, we will find you acting on your best behavior. Turn your back on Mother Nature. Everybody wants to rule the world. It's my own design. It's my own remorse. Help me to decide. Help me make the most of freedom and of pleasure. Nothing ever lasts forever. Everybody wants to rule the world. There's a room where the light won't find you. Holding hands while the walls come tumbling down. When they do, I'll be right behind you. So glad we've almost made it. So sad they had to fade it. Everybody wants to rule the world. I see a red door and I want it painted black. No colors anymore, I want them to turn black.
I see the girls walk by dressed in their summer clothes. I have to turn my head until my darkness goes.
I see a line of cars and they are painted black, with flowers and my love both never to come back.
I see people turn their heads and quickly look away. Like a newborn baby, it just happens every day.
I look inside myself and see my heart is black. I see my red door, I must have it painted black.
Maybe then I'll fade away and not have to face the facts. It's not easy facing up when your whole world is black.
No more will my green seagull turn a deeper blue. I could not foresee this thing happening to you.
If I look hard enough into the setting sun, my love will laugh with me before the morning.
I see your dirty face hide behind your collar, but it's done in vain. Truth is hard to swallow, so you pray to God to justify the way you live a lie, live a lie, live a lie. And you take your time, and you do your crime. Well, you made your bed, I made mine. Because when I arrive, I'll bring the fire, make you come alive. I can take you higher, what this is. Forgot, I must now remind you, let it rock, let it rock, let it rock. Now the son's disgraced, he who knew his father when he cursed his name, turned and chased the dollar, but it broke his heart, so he stuck his middle finger to the world, to the world, to the world. And you take your time, and you stand in line, where you'll get what's yours. I got mine. Because when I arrive, I'll bring the fire, make you come alive. I can take you higher, what this is. Forgot, I must now remind you, let it rock, let it rock, let it rock. Yeah, Wayne's World, Planet Rock, Penny's Drive, and the top. If she gon' rock to the camera stop, I sing about angels like Angel Eye, and Pay My Life, and Sam Die, and Emma and Tamara. Why I'm in here like, what's up, mechanic me? I can fix you up, I can you up, I can get down. Shout it, we could go wherever, just pick a town. And my jewelry is louder than an engine sound. Big egg rocks like on the ground, dirty like socks that's on the ground. We say, because when I arrive, I'll bring the fire, make you come alive.
Cause you're a sky full of stars. I'm gonna give you my heart. Cause you're a sky full of stars. Cause you light up the park. I don't care, go on and tear me apart. I don't care if you do. Cause in the sky full of stars, I think I saw you. Cause you're a sky full of stars. I wanna die in your arms. Cause you get lighter the more it gets dark. I'm gonna give you my heart. I don't care, go on and tear me apart. I don't care if you do. Cause
"2023, a new year brings new opportunities. A new year also means time for another challenge. Arizona State rings in 2023 with a series against a familiar division rival. Tonight, the Sun Devils welcome the Ducks to the desert. Will the Ducks fly high, or will the Sun Devils scorch them? Ducks, Devils. Find out next on ACHA Hockey YouTube.
Hello everyone, welcome back to ASU ACHA Hockey YouTube's presentation of Division I men's ice hockey, as we had an amazing opening first 20 minutes of play as ASU ended up scoring early in that first period. But then Oregon a few minutes later answered right back, and both teams, was really a tug of war of momentum in that first 20 minutes of play.
And it'll be interesting, Brett, to see where Oregon takes this momentum, as we saw some of them during the intermission looking really confident, just hanging out outside the locker room. And meanwhile, Arizona State, we saw last night they had one rough period. The second period was what really kind of stumbled Arizona State last night. And they came out roaring in the third period to finish off the game strong. We'll see if the coaching staff was able to instill that same kind of fire underneath the players for the second stanza.
Draw one by Oregon, but they have to go back in their own zone. Ice looks pretty wet after that Zamboni cut, so both teams are going to have to be careful, as that was a turnover right to Studioso, and he healed that shot, but it was a dangerous one nonetheless. Roslovsky ends up icing that one, no doubt about it. And the puck will go back in his own zone.
Luckily, the nice cold temperature in here seems to be shoring up the ice pretty quick. Although there's always a couple rough patches at Oceanside when you get behind the net. So we'll have to see how Oregon handles that, seeing that most of their game tonight has been below the goal line.
Young tries to step up and seal the wall. He does. Plays it back down to Lackey, centering that in front. Takes a couple hops, and Studioso is unable to get around Andres. And he'll clear it out. Ducks go for a quick change. Young tries to hit the stretch man, Lackey. Lackey trying to fight it through a couple Ducks players. Play continues. Turned over. Blurred as he was releasing the shot. The whistle blows, and it looks to be a tripping call.
And that will be on Lackey. Lackey not too happy. Thought he had a hooking call drawn for Arizona State just before that hit. No call came from the referee, and in his frustration, Lackey turned around and tried to make a good check at the blue line on the Oregon defenseman. However, the defenseman sidestepped him at the last second. The knees collided, and it was indeed a tripping call assessed to the captain. Some early adversity for Arizona State.
Schultz backs up in his own zone and dumps it down 200 feet. Server will try and set it up for Pultz. They step out with it now. Gagnon ends up meeting Phillips face to face. Ends up turning the puck over. Schultz unable to get control of that puck, but the Sun Devils will kill some more time. Oregon hasn't been able to really set up as they've been having some trouble trying to get through that neutral zone. Shot on by Rodin, sets it up for Kruk to clear that one out quickly. Now just past midway through the man advantage for Oregon, and they haven't really had much to show for it.
No, and you mentioned it's been a little tough sledding through the neutral zone for the Ducks. A couple one and dones, not a lot going on this power play.
Jamernick with a lot of speed, but he ends up over-skating and hitting one of those tough spots behind the net, and that allows ASU to clear it again. 30 seconds left now on the man advantage. Hannon, hard rim around to find Jamernick. Jamernick ends up getting a tough check there in the corner. Monroe, shot on, and Rodin tracks that puck all the way into his glove.
The Oregon bench in a little bit of an uproar after that check on Jamernick. They thought a boarding penalty might have been assessed by the referees. No such call coming in. A good thing for Arizona State is that would have presented a 5-on-3 opportunity. The Sun Devils so far this year, when they've stayed out of the box, they've had quite a bit of success when they've been a little loose and taking lots of trips to the box. It's been very predictable. They've struggled quite a bit.
Metro unable to dump it all the way down to Studioso. Collects it, and that'll do it for the power play to Oregon. Monroe dices his way through center ice line, wrist shot on, and Marchand with a perfect stick placement takes that one up and out of play.
Monroe slicing and dicing just like our friend from the restaurant last night cutting up that deli ham. That was just beautiful as he cut through the neutral zone and across the blue line. Oregon clearly still feeling themselves after that good first period.
Nothing beats some good cold cuts, if you ask me.
I don't know. I had some meatloaf last night, partner, that was pretty fire that I'd have to argue against you with.
The Bolt stops behind his own net. Cross-ice pass for Plurd. Icing waved off by the linesman. It'll find Plurd again. Out in front, batting at that one was Studioso. Couldn't tell if it made its way to server or not, but server either way had to be ready. Henningsgaard trying to track that puck down, kept in by Glass. Lackey has to fight through Oregon forechecker. Now trying to get around the defenseman Voiles. Cutting to the net. Had to take a couple hard checks from Voiles. Now he drops it to DeBolt. DeBolt centering pass blocked. Erdman, as that puck ends up rocketing up and out of play. And with 15:45 left, the faceoff will stay in the offensive zone for Arizona State.
And I like seeing more ice time for Jaron DeBolt, our Brett Stradamus player of the game from a night ago. As you see, he brings a little bit of a different look on the back end for this Arizona team, a little more physical with the puck, and a booming shot if he gets the opportunity to release it.
Marchand ends up trying to pinch, but he takes a tough check, but keeps it in. Shot on from Tillman, and server is able to see that one all the way.
And with the long change that occurs here in the second period, this is a great opportunity for Arizona State. If they can create a little bit more zone time, catch these Ducks at the end of a long shift, they might be able to generate a good scoring opportunity with one of their top lines on the ice.
Tillman finds Marchand. Marchand's shot ends up getting blocked by Kneeling Green, and that puck goes all the way into the Arizona State zone. Turned over to Kylie Ram by himself. He button hooks and waits. He'll just elect to dump it in. Shaw trying to work to get that puck out in front. He'll take advantage of it, and he does, but it's a nice defensive play by Jamernick to clear it out. Ooh, and tough hit by Kylie Ram, able to brace himself, but Oregon the other way. Jamernick. Shot on, puck comes over to Rodin, and he'll just shepherd that one out. And the puck will come back to Kylie Ram again. Little hesitation move. Stops up. Server punches at that puck. And that allows Jamernick to take the rebound. Puck ends up hitting off the linesman's skate. Oregon collects it, dumps it back down deep. Turned over by Kruk. Branislawski, his shot gets blocked. Rodin just elects to take a whistle there, and as both teams really were having a tough time trying to collect the puck.
Yeah, the ice a little bit choppy. The pass is not quite as crisp as we saw last night. No one really taking control of this game just yet.
Won by Oregon. Hannon unable to keep it in, and the Ducks will have to touch up and throw it back in. And the way this game's feeling, similar to how the scoreboard is, it's a tie. Kruk. D-to-D with Hosworth. Gives it right back. Cooch trying to shield the puck away from Thornton. Gets taken down. Schultz in the corner. Ends up getting wielded down. Play continues. Out in front by Phillips. Hosworth diving to keep that one in. And Kruk will throw it all the way down deep. Phillips at the point. Hosworth fakes the shot. Now to Kruk. Kruk fakes the shot. Is shot on. As there's some tough traffic in front of Server, but he somehow gets a glove on it.
A beautiful toe drag by Connor Kruk at the blue line. He was hollering over at Jack Hosworth at the right point saying, hey, feed it over here. I got a clear shooting lane. Hosworth a quick job getting that puck over to Kruk, and Kruk fakes that shot, toe drags in, and rips one. Server looking very sharp tonight between the pipes for the Ducks.
Collected by Slayton. Turned over to Erdman. Boyles now stops behind his net. Oregon trying to look for the stretch play. Too hot for Glass to handle. Rodin will touch it, rims it around to Young. Puck bouncing around. Glass now collects it. His shot gets blocked by Erdman. Young jumping up into the play, gets the puck back from Lackey, gives it right back, but Lackey ends up getting tripped by the blue line monster and loses the puck.
Always got to watch out for that blue line monster. You never know when it's going to rear up and get you.
Stretch play to Lackey, but it's whistled down, and it seemed to be that Lackey might have not been onside when he touched that puck.
Frustration very evident on Clayton Lackey's face, as he thought he dragged that toe getting in on the blue line. Linesman very quick and decisive with that call, though. He was pretty confident. And for Arizona State, that basically counts as an icing as his faceoff comes all the way back in their own end.
Jamernick will punch that one to the other side. He'll have it, but it'll get floored away by Plurd, and Oregon has to dump it back in. Man partner, that call by the linesman gave me some flashbacks from the old two-line pass rule.
Man, back in the day when offense was a rarity, that two-line pass was always an interesting rule. Not sure who came up with it. Fun fact, when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was playing college basketball for UCLA, he was so dominant in the year that UCLA won their championship with having success dunking the ball that the NCAA, 2 days after the national championship, instituted a rule specifically aimed at what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had done, eliminating dunking, which ultimately led to him developing his patented sky hook that became the most dominant shot in all of basketball. And you just got me stumbling on that rant after mentioning the two-line pass.
Well, definitely showing off your knowledge, not in just hockey, but in all sports, partner. Walking encyclopedia.
Don't ask me to spell encyclopedia.
Kylie Ram gets some help from Shaw's. That puck gets taken up by Marchand. Right side Marchand to Shaw, but pass was just a little behind Shaw. Big body forward still has it. Olsen makes the smart, safe play to dump it back in. One-timer from Marchand, fans on the shot. Down to Shaw, ASU, some good zone time right now. And Shaw's pass goes all the way down. Rodin has to play it out now. Stretch play to Shaw this time. But Politz was able to get there just in time, and a lucky fan had to be aware as she was showing some great hand-eye coordination and throws it back in. How generous of her.
Wow, I think I would take that puck home and frame it. Not too often you get a lucky souvenir here at Oceanside. Usually this low-hanging ceiling will collect those pucks and keep them on the ice.
Ducks will collect the puck. Lanfear to Keller. He can't find it. Some trouble between Kruk and Hosworth. Hosworth has to be hurried up by Oregon forechecker. Arabian, nice touch pass, 2-on-1 for the Devils. Shot on from Keller as he stops up, and that was a chest save by a server. Lanfear ends up taking a hard check by Thornton. Still with it out in front. Hosworth. Kruk plays it off the back wall out in front, and server with some acrobatics making the stop as he goes into the splits.
I saw Matt Server during the intermission munching down on a nice red apple. I don't know what they're putting in apples nowadays, Brett, but it's clearly some good stuff because not only is it keeping the doctor away, but it's keeping the goals away too. Matt Server looking absolutely on it right now for Oregon.
Still a 1-1 hockey game midway through the second period of play. Shots are virtually even, 20-18 in favor of ASU. Passing the skates of Phillips. He's trying to fight that puck to dump it down deep. Extra effort. He's able to. Young gives it back to Phillips. Phillips shot on. Server does just enough to stop that puck, and play will continue. Boyles. That's that puck taken away. The energy line for ASU out there hard on the forecheck. Henningsgaard trying to get to the puck first, but Young will beat him. Slayton ended up dumping the puck down, but icing's waved off. Oregon will try to finish up a change. Again, a long change as we are in the second period of play. Cooch, wrist shot on, server will corral that and have a whistle.
And Brett, just to take it back to our conversation a few minutes ago, we know what the most dominant shot in sports was. We brought it up, but in your mind, is there a clearly dominant shot in hockey? Because for me, I've always wanted to see more knuckle pucks. Maybe that's the young Mighty Ducks movie fan in me, but I think that would be a great shot to institute more of.
Yeah, for how fast hockey is, it might be a little tough trying to get that puck to settle up on its edge like that. For me, I think a one-timer shot's the most dangerous, as it's so hard for the goalie to get set. And then we had a one-timer shot there, although Plur didn't get all of it, and so that made it easy for the goaltender to stop.
Always coming full circle up here in the broadcast booth.
That's how I usually like my circles full. Plurd trying to race to that puck. He sends that in front and gets blocked by Andres. Olsen. Marchand. Marchand kept at bay by a couple of the Oregon forwards. Rims around to Plurd. One-timer shot. Misses wide. Lackey delays to Studioso. Olsen. Marchand, the one-timer, and ends up just kind of hoofing that shot. And it gets blocked by Monroe, and they go the other way. Plurd, cross-ice pass, Studioso. Give and go play, but Plurd didn't have his stick down on the ice, and it goes underneath it. Plays slowed down a little bit in this last minute or two. Andres gains the center ice line, throws it in on the goaltender Rodin, and he'll block her in the corner. It's tipped by Oregon player, icing waved off. Marchand ends up lifting it too high here at Oceanside Ice Arena, and that'll be whistled down.
The pace certainly is slowing down a little bit here. Both teams trying to be respectful of the long change and not get caught up. We saw the pace of play in the latter half of last night's second period really open up.
Took a wicked hop in front of the goaltender Rodin, and he didn't really know where it was. Luckily, he doesn't see the referee pointing towards his net, which would designate a goal, and instead it's just a whistle.
I think you might be ready for a trip to Boston there, partner. A little wicked smot on the call.
Now there's some talking as the referee had some words with the scorekeeper's box. And ends up heading to the box is going to be number 13, Kylie Ram for ASU.
And Brett, that's one of the rarest calls I think you'll see in hockey. Kylie Ram, a little too aggressive, jumping into the circle. The first go-around was told to get out of the circle. He stuck around, the linesman gave him a second chance, and once again he got too eager. And the linesman was fed up at that point and was well within his rights to assess a delay of game penalty.
So some of the rarest penalties could be called in hockey. A couple delay of game calls, and they end up cashing in. Unfortunate for Rodin as it took a couple hops as it was initially Hannon, and he's probably going to get the goal, but it was a rebound off of Rodin off the initial shot and somehow bounced into the net.
Another wicked hop there for Oregon. I'm not exactly sure who that went off of officially on the way into the net. You saw Rodin make what looked like the initial save. There's a couple bodies in front of him and a lucky deflection. Next thing you know, Oregon has taken the lead tonight. And fresh off that delay of game minor, Kylie Ram's back at center ice for Arizona State.
Officially, the goal will be scored by Jamernick for Oregon, his second of the year. And Oregon with their first lead of the weekend. Kylie Ram comes together in the corner with Thornton. Shaw trying to shrug off a couple Ducks players. It'll find Kylie Ram working behind the goal line. Drop pass, but ends up going right to an Oregon player. Shaw can't center that puck. Kylie Ram ends up skating it right back into scrum, and now there's even a bigger scrum behind the net. Under 6 minutes in the second period. It'll find Shaw. Shaw, the one-timer from Tillman. Beautiful stick work by Kroos, lifting the stick, not allowing Tillman to release the shot. And it'll be interesting now for Arizona State to see how they can face some of this adversity in the second period.
And I think a good way in starting to come back towards that adversity, Brett, is a little bit of what we saw just on that last shift. Down low, Arizona State was outnumbered by the Ducks 3-2, but they work hard down low, emerge with the puck after winning that board battle, and Tillman just a little slow in receiving that pass. Otherwise, his one-timer is a golden opportunity to rip one.
Marchand showing off those smooth skating skills he possesses. Drops, but Studioso's pass gets taken away, and now it's another turnover, and ASU can keep possession of it. Olsen reaches to keep it in. Lackey with speed. Lackey shot blocked by Mayer. Out in front, and Plurd ends up fanning on the shot as there is some space on the left side of the net. Blocked by Oregon. Marchand keeps it in momentarily. Now it's an odd man rush. Gagnon for Oregon. Gagnon shot. Stopped by Rodin and doesn't allow the rebound.
And a tough play there for Marchand as he was near his own blue line, kind of put himself in no man's land there, electing at first to retreat, then decided at the last second to try to step up and play the loose puck. And that was an easy play for Oregon to just pick that up with speed, skate right around him, and create an odd man rush.
Puck down the corner. Oregon applying pressure now as they sense some blood in the water with having a 1-goal lead now. Cooch unable to beat Andres. Stops behind his net. Monroe trying to shrug off the check from Schultz. Jamernick. He'll have it now. Somehow able to center that puck from the seat of his pants, and luckily for ASU, no Oregon players were able to get to it. Strategos. Monroe still with it. He's falling end over end. Puck somehow squirting just past by the ASU net. Under 4 minutes to play now. It's a 2-1 Oregon lead. Schultz to Cooch. Cooch's slap shot misses wide. ASU has to hurry on the change, though, and they do.
You can see the Sun Devils getting a little bit lazy defensively right now, not quite as on their P's and Q's as the Ducks are.
Strategos fans on the shot, but still has it. Bruslovsky wheeling around the offensive zone. Voiles shot on, and that's tipped wide by Hannon. Lackey turns it over to Bruslovsky as he dumps it down, gets around Lackey, gets around Young, and releases the shot. And Rodin with a blocker save. Bruslovsky showing off some of that skill he has on the Oregon team.
Bruslovsky saw Clayton Lackey in front of him playing defense, and he said, all right, I've seen your silky moves last night. I'll raise you one better right here. And Bruslovsky just weaving in and out like a greyhound at the Westminster Dog Show as he opens up that scoring opportunity, and Rodin up to the task.
Oregon has had a good spell this last couple of minutes after the goal. Plurd ships it out to center ice. Lackey by himself right now. Studioso helps him out, but Studioso turns it over to Slayton. Rodin couldn't handle the puck as it hops over his stick. Erdman trying to help that along, but he can't get it out. 2:35 left in the second period. Voiles dumps it back in. Henningsgaard couldn't win the race to the puck. Lackey will look to skate it back in zone as Sanger's trying to force him to one side of the ice. Thornton almost turned it over to Plurd. Luckily, it finds an Oregon stick. Plurd trying to dump that back in, but ends up going up and out of play with exactly 2 minutes left.
One thing that's very apparent tonight is the stark contrast and the difference of communication from the Sun Devil bench to the players and the players on the ice amongst themselves as well, compared to what we saw last night. Last night it was very talkative, lots of chatter, guys really speaking up, letting each other know where the play was on the ice, who was getting on the off the bench next. And so far tonight, we just haven't seen that from Arizona State. It's been very quiet, not as much energy just in general, and a little more passive of an experience.
That hard work shown by one of the top lines for ASU ends up awarding them a power play, as that was Shaw and Kylie Ram working underneath the goal line.
And I think what we've seen in the second period tonight has been an expert case study in how to play a good road game. If you're the Ducks, they've been smart defensively. They've taken care of the puck well. They haven't given up too many opportunities. But this right here is a grade A opportunity for Arizona State to claim a little bit of stake in this game after a rough middle period.
Back up to the point. Marchand. The Lackey ASU trying to tie this one up. Marchand's point shot on, rebound in front. Goaltender didn't know where it was, but ASU couldn't jam that rebound home, and now Studioso gets shepherded out of the zone. He'll take it back in. Centering pass gets blocked. Marchand has the puck, hop over him. It's now one-on-one. Lackey ends up getting beat by Monroe, but Rodini was able to help his forward out. 60 seconds left now in the second period. Shaw ends up getting put off balance by Pultz. Studioso. Lackey, as that puck just dies in the corner, didn't really have many options. Now back to him, 40 seconds now. Centered out in front. Lackey is trying to look for the redirection, but Studioso was tied up in front, and Oregon clears it. Rodin having to take it behind his own net as Strategos was pressuring him to do so. 20 seconds left now. Studioso looking for a streaking Kylie Ram. He can't. Ram has to go back and retrieve his stick. Studioso to Kruk, and he misses a wide open net on the redirection. 5 seconds left. Young shot on, and that's blocked by Oregon. And what a period by Oregon. Ends up getting the lead midway through. And now Strategos, a guy who scored in the first period, ends up paying the price, blocking the shot there.
A great job by Strategos. Everyone buying in for Oregon tonight in this game, and you can see it showing on the ice and on the scoreboard as they've taken the lead.
Folks, another exciting second period of play. And in just under 15 minutes, we'll bring you the last period of this weekend between ASU and Oregon. At the end of 2, Oregon 2, ASU 1. This is Arizona State Hockey U2.
Well, I went down to the local arena, asked to see the manager man. He came from his office, said, "Son, can I help you?" Looked at him and said, "Yes, you can." Yeah, I want to drive the Zamboni. Yeah, I want to drive the Zamboni. Yes, I do. Now, ever since I was young, it's been my dream that I might drive the Zamboni machine. I get that ice just as thick as could be, and all the kids would look up to me. Yeah, I want to drive the Zamboni. Yeah, I want to drive the Zamboni. Yes, I do.
'cause I wanna drive the Zamboni. Yeah, I wanna drive the Zamboni. Yeah, I wanna drive the Zamboni. Yeah, I wanna drive the Zamboni. Yes, I do. All the small things, true care, truth brings. I'll take one lift, your ride, best trip. Always, I know you'll be at my show, watching, waiting, commiserating. Say it ain't so, I will not go. Turn the lights off, carry me home. Late night, come home, work sucks, I know. She left me roses by the stairs. Surprises let me know she cares. Say it ain't so, I will not go. Turn the lights off, carry me home. I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that place. Even your emotions have an echo in so much space. And when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch. But it wasn't because I didn't know enough. I just knew too much. Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Does that make me crazy? Possibly. And I hope that you are having the time of your life. But think twice. That's my only advice. Come on now, who do you think you are? Bless your soul. You really think you're in control? Well, I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy, just like me. My heroes had the heart to lose the lives I wanna live. And all I remember is thinking I wanna be like them. Ever since I was little, it looked like fun. And there's no coincidence.
Coming on to the light of day, we got many moons that are deep at play. So I keep an eye on the shadow smile to see what it has to say. You and I both know everything must go away. What do you say? Spinning out that is on my heart. It's like a bitter light and a touch of dark. You got sneak attack from the zodiac that I see off my spot. Keep the breeze and go, blow by blow and go away. What do you say? Yeah, you don't know my mind, you don't know my kind. Dark necessities are part of my design. And tell the world that I'm falling from the sky. Dark necessities are part of my design. Stumble down to the parking lot. You got no time for the afterthought. The light, ice cream for an astronaut. Well, that's me looking for weed. Turn the corner and find the world at your command. Lay in the hand. Yeah, you don't know my mind, you don't know my kind. Dark necessities are part of my design. Tell the world that I'm falling from the sky. Dark necessities are part of my design.
Thought that I'd be better off if I were on my own. I try to put my finger on the moment we went wrong, but the taste turned bitter, so I pulled the trigger. Not so easy to move on. I guess I should have known. Ice cold, I freeze up when I see ya. Left you just to find out that I need ya. So far, I wanna pull you closer. I wish we could start the whole thing over. Ever since I left you, I've been trying to get you back, and it keeps getting worse. I'm burning on the inside, and the truth is that I didn't know how good you were until you were gone. Until you were
"2023, a new year brings new opportunities. A new year also means time for another challenge. Arizona State rings in 2023 with a series against a familiar division rival. Tonight, the Sun Devils welcome the Ducks to the desert. Will the Ducks fly high, or will the Sun Devils scorch them? Ducks Devils. Find out next on ACHA Hockey YouTube.
Welcome back, everyone, to ASU ACHA Hockey YouTube's presentation of Division I men's ice hockey. I'm Brett Vaughn, alongside my partner Niall Cooper. And Oregon, with a great response coming off of last night's loss, now are only 20 minutes away of splitting the weekend.
A great effort tonight by the road team Oregon. We discussed briefly yesterday, they're in the midst of one heck of a road trip spanning from the end of 2022 through early 2023. They've had some tough results. They gave UNLV a hard ride, and right now they're giving Arizona State all they can handle and then some. The Sun Devils are going to have to dig deep to get back into this game.
Arizona State have just about 10 seconds left on the 2-minute minor penalty to Mayer. Kept in by DeBolt. Right side to Young. Young for the shot pass. I don't think Plurd was ready for it. And the Ducks are back to full strength. Shot on from Henningsgaard. Blocked away by Rodin. DeBolt shielding the puck away from Glass. Gets it back, but it's taken away by Glass. Oregon hard in on the forecheck after killing the remainder of that 2-minute minor penalty and end up shooting it out of play was Studioso, and no change for ASU, and will stay in their own zone.
I'll be intrigued to see if we get any sort of a different level of energy on the bench beneath us here, partner, as that seemed to be a real deterrent to ASU creating any sort of success in the second period. And I really think that's their best shot at getting back into this game. You know what I always say, communication, it's free.
Studioso is trying to find Tillman. He finds his stick, and icing will be waved off. And the corner, Plurd. Tangled up, and it goes dangerously out in front, but no Sun Devils present. That's one of those things, if you can look at from last night's game, is that energy on the bench, or maybe even just in the building. You can kind of feel it's a little different tonight on ASU's end. Kruk looking for that shot pass. Misses Plurd. Another shot pass, this time for Shaw. He couldn't get a stick on it. Monroe skates it out himself. And it just seems to me that Arizona State, they're waiting for either that one big hit or maybe that one big opportunity where it'll get things going for them, and right now they're just a little stagnant. Green trying to wind up and fire, but that gets poked away by Kylie Ram out into the neutral zone. Jammernick gets help from Green. And it looked to be tangled up when he got taken down a little bit ago. And it's going to be a penalty to ASU.
And very similar to the penalty we saw Clayton Lackey take in the second period, where he stepped up on his own blue line. Or rather, he was on the offensive blue line. Kruk on his own blue line, stepping up, trying to lay a hit. And the Duck player just evading him at the last second. You see a little unnecessary contact there. And the referee's been keen to make that call so far in this game.
Not what the doctor ordered for Arizona State. Is now they're going to have to kill off a penalty down a goal early in this third period. Rodin, the hard rim around, gets sealed off on the wall by Mitchell. Rugby scrum right in front of the ASU bench. Monroe skates it out to the open ice on the left side of the zone. Escape turn back to Bruslovsky. Oregon unable to penetrate in the middle of the ice. Monroe couldn't have a clean tape-to-tape pass to Mitchell. Mitchell kicks it up to his stick. Bruslovsky hesitates, turns it back up. Now back the other way. still with the puck. Monroe walks the line, gives it right back. Jammernick trying to center that in front, and that's forked away by Olsen. ASU has to hurry as the goaltender server would plate it.
A mesmerizing display of skating from Brzezlowski for Oregon on that last opportunity on the power play, the first 60 seconds. I'm not going to lie, I was getting a little bit mesmerized watching him move the puck in the offensive zone.
Didn't hear you breathe there, partner, for a couple of seconds. Just had to check on you to make sure you're okay. Ducks come through now with Gagan. He's unable to deke around Kruk. Young dumps it all the way down. 25 seconds left on the man advantage for Oregon. Cooch with the hit, and then Young feels inspired to have his hit right in front of the linesman and dumps it down.
A great penalty kill here from Arizona State. A wonderful job not giving the Ducks any good scoring opportunities. I don't believe the Ducks even registered a shot on goal.
Glass gets a nicely laid pass to him by Henningsgaard, but he ends up being a little too eager and offside.
And after almost 5 minutes gone already, the Sun Devils not a whole lot of opportunities, but if you want to look on the bright side of things, a good penalty kill is an opportunity for them to take some momentum and run with it. That's something we saw the Ducks do in the second period. They had some good penalty kills and turned it into offensive momentum the other way, and now it's time for the Sun Devils to do the same.
Boyles somehow still had the puck, but finally taken away by Erdman. ASU trying to find that little bit of spark. Maybe they can get it after that penalty kill. To try to come back into this game. Only one shot away from tying it, down by a goal. Kroos, him and Erdman get tangled up in the corner and bodies collide. Erdman gets right back up though. Somehow gets through to Studioso. Studioso with it, and a great recovery by Nick Slayton, the Phoenix, Arizona native for Oregon. Pass just out of reach of Tillman as his body weight was going the other way. And now the Ducks go the other way too. Centered out in front, nobody there. Erdman. Seam pass to Studioso on the right side. Cuts through, but turns it right over out in front. Lackey almost got there. Olsen jumps up in the play. Lackey. A high pass ends up allowing a free clearance for Oregon. Lackey by himself as Arizona State's trying to finish off a change. Marchand. He'll ladle that in. Server stops it for his defenseman. Monroe. He's able to take it off of Olsen, but he ends up putting himself offside. Oregon has to touch up. Shaw, drop pass as he ends up eating a check to Lackey. And just able to clear that one out is Ryan Green for the Ducks, and he'll go for a change. Marchand to his defensive partner, Olsen. Shaw dumps it down low. Andres gets around the forechecker Shaw. Now he's trying to get around Kylie Ram, and he'll try to clear it in, but turns it over to Young. (13-10) in this third period. ASU still have plenty of time to try and tie it up. Maybe they do it here. Schultz centered in front, out in front still, and it's finally whistled down as Server, I don't think, saw it at first.
And that's what you like to see if you're Arizona State. Some speed through the neutral zone, moving that puck north to south. They get it in and just get the puck to the net. Right now, you're clearly not on your A game. The Ducks are doing a good job taking away the passing lanes you want. They're getting mucky with it. The ice has been a little bit choppy tonight. This isn't the kind of game where if you're Arizona State, you're going to be able to get back into this making some really skilled all-star level plays. And I know that's what a lot of these players want to do, but right there, that's a great example. The energy line comes out, they take the puck down the ice and just get it to the net.
DeBolt unable to get a handle on that one after the initial offensive zone draw win, and they'll have to re-enter in. Schultz redirection, though, off the tip. Goes up and out of play. And it definitely seems that way for how well Oregon and how gritty Oregon is as a team, that it's going to take some direct plays to the net by ASU to try and tie it up.
And we've seen in the past when this Arizona State team can integrate that hard work in the dirty areas with all of the skill that they have up and down this lineup, they can accomplish some amazing things.
Puck bandied about, it'll come to Oregon stick. Henning's guard getting tangled up with the Bolt. He's able to get the puck now, dump it down deep. Young. Schultz felt the pressure from Nick Slayton trying to pinch up into play, and as Carson Cooch touches the puck up, ends up being a whistle. And it looks like it's going to be a penalty, a roughing call to Sean Phillips for ASU. And just when you think the Sun Devils are maybe starting to turn the corner, they end up halting themselves again.
And I didn't have my eye fully on the backside of that play as that penalty was assessed against Arizona State away from the puck. It didn't look like anything too innocuous by Young. And I'm a little surprised at this stage of the game a ticky-tacky call could potentially be made. The Sun Devils, though, should know the referees have been relatively tight on their whistles, and you don't want to give them any opportunity to put you behind the 8-ball.
If anything on this power play, it takes away possibly great opportunities for ASU to get back into this game, as we only have 11:50 remaining. Bruslovsky gets stopped at the wall, but gets some help from some of his teammates. Monroe's shot, and that looked like it maybe kissed the post. Blurred, unsure where it is. Ducks work it down back low. Gamernick, the one-timer from Monroe, and sticking into the corner was Rodin. Halfway through the man advantage opportunity for the Ducks. Monroe at the point. One-timer from Hannon, takes a couple wicked hops. Kruk can't clear. And the Ducks finally touch it up as they end up looking to be a high stick, which is why we have the whistle.
I believe it might have been a hand pass there that they called. You could tell the man on the puck for the Ducks was begging for his teammate to come over and touch it for him so he could play it. A good job by the penalty killers for the Sun Devils, just waiting that one out, forcing a little more time off the clock as they get nearer to 5-on-5.
Sidiuso kicks it out to Kylie Ram. Ram shot ends up hitting the dome of server, but ends up using his head to make the stop that time. Henning's guard, Oregon somehow still onside. Henning's guard looking for the redirection. Rodin stands tall. Polt's shot from the point. Rodin ends up snatching that one with 20 seconds left on the kill for ASU.
An important save by Rodin as the Sun Devils got caught a little behind the play. A 2-on-2 offensively turned into a breakout for a 3-on-2 the other way for Oregon. Kylie Ram getting on his horse, coming back. Looked like the Ducks might have been offsides. The Sun Devils persevering nonetheless.
Cooch will clear it down 200 feet, and that puck somehow steers into the corner, unable for server to play it. Thomas Monroe trying to cut through the middle of the ice. Rodin makes the grab, and at the whistle, Phillips will emerge out of the box, and ASU with another kill.
And that's 2 kills in the first half of this third period. Good in the regard that the penalty killing unit is doing their job. Bad in the regard that Arizona State not able to get anything going offensively, and right now they're down to 10 minutes left to try to find an equalizer.
Phillips won it clean. Cooch trying to look for some support, ends up taking a hard check from Jammerneck. Cooch gets back up to his feet. Tight turn, another tight turn. As Oregon's done a great job keeping ASU pinned back on the forecheck. Comes out for a turnover now. As Jammernick's backhand shot saved by Rodin. Schultz overskates it. Plays it back down as it was almost dangerously turned over. Phillips is finally able to gain the center ice line. Sicked away by Slayton. Slayton ends up getting taken down. Play continues. Monroe, the area pass to Green. Gets it right back. Monroe trying to roof that one high, misses wide. Another shot on, and they score! Oregon's hard work on the forecheck pays off. And now they have a 2-goal lead.
Frustration boiling over after the play. Frustration boiling over after that play with Phillips. You could see he wasn't too happy with the aggression right after scoring that goal by the Ducks. Nonetheless, a good play by them. Strategos, another goal tonight. And they had a great opportunity right in front of the net, Brett. We saw Dawson Rodin make one amazing save in the first period in almost the same situation, a low pass behind the goal line right in front of his crease. This time he couldn't quite make the play once again. And the Ducks now padding that lead by 2.
Still a good amount of time left for ASU, though. Just under 9 minutes left to play in the third period, but they're going to have to hurry. Oregon has to touch back up onside. Rodin tees it up for his defenseman Hosworth behind the net. Over to Lackey. Lackey just plays it out to the neutral zone. Oregon enters back in again. Kruk absorbs the check from Boslovsky. Hosworth able to get it to Shaw. ASU now the other way. Lackey still with it, ends up going on one knee, but never ends up getting an actual shot off. Strategos and ended up scoring that third goal that ends up making it 2 on the night for him. Puck turned over to Oregon, and they just dump it back in. And ASU, once they touch the puck, it looks to be another penalty behind the play.
And the same referee that's called the last 2 penalties of this third period against Arizona State once again has his eyes behind the play, keeping an eye on any sort of small infractions that Arizona State might make. You saw Clayton Lackey offensively on that last shift. He got taken down going to the net. He was very frustrated afterwards, and that frustration just boiling over a little bit behind the play. He couldn't even argue that penalty going to the box.
Oregon wins the draw clean, and a point shot. Rodin was able to fight through the traffic to see that one. Henningsgaard on the left side. Shot from Holtz. And Rodin ends up flailing back as he felt some pressure possibly from either Oregon or ASU player. Referee, though, shaking his head, saying there wasn't any call there.
Referee with a wry little smile, letting Rodin know he didn't think there was anything there other than a mild attempt towards winning an Oscar. And the frustration, you can feel it radiating a little bit more from this Arizona State bench.
Young does a great job to beat 3 Oregon players, and now they try to go the other way. Schultz will find the puck in the corner, absorbs a check as, if anything, he's just taking off more time off that penalty clock. Oregon slow trying to get out of their own end, then they almost turned it over to Plurd. Crows fights his way through the middle, out in front, and they score. Puck just took a couple of bounces, friendly ones for Oregon, and Glass was able to tap it in.
And that puck just dangerously laying there right in front of Rodin. You saw him try to go for that poke check, and it almost worked as a chance to ski ball that puck up over his right shoulder. He had to drop that shoulder as he looked to poke it with his right stick. And Oregon in the right place at the right time. The Sun Devils a little too undisciplined tonight, and it's really hurting them now.
That hole ends up getting a little deeper now for ASU to climb out of, as it's been Oregon adding goals to the scoreboard here in the third period. Almost a role reversal compared to last night, where you could sense the energy from the players on the ice as well as on the bench, that frustration showing. Kylie Ramshot gets blocked by the Ducks. Kept in by Marchand, his point shot, and he just wires one high. Shaw keeping it in. Talaki. ASU having some sense of urgency here on the shift. Olsen seals the puck on the wall, and he finds Shaw. Shaw unable to get that puck over to Kylie Ram. Ducks now enter the offensive zone, and we'll have a whistle, and it looks to be a penalty, an interference call to Oregon.
And if you want to call this the last reprieve, partner, I think you could certainly call it that. The other referee that we haven't seen making as many calls tonight, getting in and helping out Arizona State on that slight interference at the blue line, putting the Sun Devils on a power play here with just over 6 minutes left. This is the last chance for them to really get back into this game. They need to capitalize early and get this puck to the net right out of the gate.
Oregon only 5 wins on the season, and possibly if you're supporting ASU, this might be an opportunity where the Ducks aren't too familiar with trying to kill off a game. Cleared all the way down by Slayton for Oregon. Lackey has to hurry as Mayer was getting some pressure. Studioso. You have to feel if ASU is going to come back, it's got to start on this power play. Lackey fakes the shot. Marchand ends up getting his pass taken away. Slayton tried to headman it, and just out of the reach of number 19, Jacob Sanger, else he was off to the races.
A bullet dodge there for Arizona State.
Marchand sachets his way through the middle of the ice to Lackey. Lackey, the one-timer out in front. Server makes a big stop as he had to make 2 or 3 saves there to keep the puck out.
And that was the chance you were looking for if you're the Sun Devils. Marchand, a great job weaving his way through the neutral zone. He gets the pass over to the right wing. The Sun Devils get the one-timer in front. The rebound right there, begging on the back door. And Matt Server, who's been on one tonight, makes no mistake moving from his left to his right.
Minute left on the power play for the Sun Devils. The one-timer shot from Young, and Server with good positioning gets his body in the way. ASU working it down low, now up top. Crook. Back to Plurd. Plurd. Down low. A lot of perimeter play by ASU. Crook, top of the key. Still with it. Plays it back to Plurd. Oregon can live with this all day, just keeping ASU to the outside. It finally goes to the net, and the rebound squirts by Kylie Ram. 25 now remaining on the power play. Played out in front, and it's whistled down, and a couple of players come together after the whistle.
And that's simply just not going to cut it if you're Arizona State, Brett. They were moving the puck strictly on the perimeter. There was really no sense of urgency. You saw a good job in front of the net. Kylie Ram and Braden Shaw really working overtime, trying to get in front of Server, trying to make sure they were in a position for a rebound. But the guys at the top of the point for Arizona State were not getting that puck towards the net. They needed to fire it early and often. And the Sun Devils really shooting themselves in the foot. They killed about a good 30 seconds there, just moving the puck along the half wall.
Puck cleared all the way down by Oregon, and maybe one last chance for ASU on the man advantage. Kruk plays it back to Young, and Oregon back to full strength. Couple of good opportunities for ASU, but has to be direct to the net. Osworth checking behind his shoulder as he knows an Oregon player's coming down hard on the forecheck. 3:40 remains in the third period. ASU down by 3. Kruk turns it over to Monroe. Monroe still with it. Button hooks up. Schultz takes it away momentarily. And now he'll have it. Kicks it out to Cooch, but Cooch couldn't get that puck into the zone. Jamernick now. Wrist shot on, blocked by Erdman. Phillips ends up taking a check, but he can't keep the puck in. Under 3 minutes remain in the third period. Slayton, his shot, rebound in front. Rodin had to be ready for that rebound as it was a juicy one, but the shot was over the net.
A nice 200 IQ play by Slayton, just looking for the shot pass there, right off of the waffle board of Rodin.
Schultz, wrist shot misses high. Be interesting to see if ASU, although they're down 3, if they're going to possibly risk pulling the goaltender here. Studioso at the point to Tillman. Tillman shot on, and no traffic in front of server, and he makes his stop.
And that puck probably not going to find the back of the twine, even if it is allowed to go through by server, but he continues to have a dominant night. He's seeing the puck well, tracking it well. And just one more reason, if you're Arizona State, you don't want to get cute with it and try to go for a quick little wrist shot. You really need to get traffic to the front of the net and get gritty goals.
Ducks just trying to keep that puck to the outside, but it's still in their own zone. Andres goes up the left side of the ice. Hannon over to Braslovsky, and his shot misses. Hannon and Studioso come together. Point shot from Poltz, blockered away by Rodin. Studioso, he's the first man to the scene. Poltz pins him up to the wall. Minute 40 left now in the third period. ASU has to hurry. D to Kruk. Kruk shot on, and server went spread eagle on that stop, not allowing any rebound. Rodin is still in the net for ASU, so it's still even strength play. One-timer from Kruk. Out loose in front, jamming at it, still loose. And it's finally whistled down, and the referee waving his arm saying no goal.
And that right there is the chance that you've been waiting for Arizona State to generate. But with 1:24 left on the clock, most likely a case of too little, too late. But you can see the advantages there for the Sun Devils, just getting the puck to the net, bodies crashing, server wasn't able to corral the rebound safely, and then it affords you second and third chance opportunities.
Draw one clean by the Ducks. The defenseman Mitchell ends up taking a hard hit from Shaw, but just gets it out. Mayer's shot blocked by the kneeling Kruk. Mayer still with it. Shot, rebound in front. Cleared away. And it's whistled down as a couple players are tangled up in front of the ASU netminder.
And I'm guessing coincidentals potentially coming here for Hosworth for Arizona State, as well as Jacob Sanger for the Ducks. Although it looks like the only one sitting right now is Hosworth.
Looks to be cross-checking the call on Hosworth. ASU going to finish the rest of this hockey game down a man. Under 60 seconds remain now here at Oceanside. Ducks trying to add one more. That shot was high on Rodine. Makes a stop. Bruslovsky. Up to Monroe at the point. Monroe faking with it, but passes it to nobody. Erdman clears it all the way down. 30 seconds left. Ducks going to be leaving this one tonight with a record of 6-10, a big road win to split the weekend and to head back home to Oregon with at least one win. Ducks just elect to hold it to kill the rest of this hockey game back in their own zone, and that'll do it. Oregon with an impressive road victory as they come into Oceanside Ice Arena and split the weekend against ASU. As the referees are doing a great job of trying to keep both teams with cool heads. As Oregon most likely heading back to Eugene sometime tonight or tomorrow.
And you love the effort that you saw tonight if you're an Oregon Ducks fan. Coming in here, as we mentioned, not the most successful season so far for this team in their first year in Division I. They have had a tough schedule. And certainly coming into this weekend, this was one weekend set that they had that they were looking at thinking, this is going to be tough, but we have a shot if we come in and bring our A game. Arizona State, they came out last night, they brought their A-plus game. And Oregon answered tonight with their own A-plus game. And they really did a wonderful job, I thought, of pacifying the Sun Devils in the areas of the ice where they really wanted to succeed and play this game more in a skilled fashion, a lot faster game the Sun Devils wanted. Oregon got a lot grittier, and they were very opportunistic when they had their chances.
As we welcome you back up to the press box here at Oceanside Ice Arena, Brett Vaughn alongside my partner Niall Cooper. And now an unfortunate ending to the weekend, which started so promising for ASU.
Yeah, very promising start, and you thought, wow, you know, this is a new year. We've got some New Year's resolutions. We're going to come out. We're going to play really well, and we're going to play against a lesser opponent. Not to state that Oregon is a lesser opponent in terms of what they put on the ice, but just strictly speaking, looking at their record, if you're a Sun Devil fan, you thought, oh, this is a chance to kind of gain a little bit of ground in the standings, nullify some of the results they didn't like at the end of fall 2022. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case tonight for Arizona State.
And now, before we leave tonight, I always want to get your take on who was your player of the game.
Well, tonight, I think my player of the game is the one and only Matt Server. He faced 39 shots tonight for the Oregon Ducks between the pipes. He saved 38 of them. Just an amazing display between the pipes. You know, he let in that early goal to start the game about 5 minutes into the first period, and from then he was absolutely locked in. He played amazing. He made the big saves when Oregon really needed and afforded them the opportunities to kind of find their footing in this game and really set the pace of play and dictate what was going on and ultimately get the win.
Before we leave tonight, want to say thank you to a very special group of people who helped make this broadcast possible. Our statistician tonight was Tracy Yeager. Our engineer on site was John Vaughn. And our cameraman and pregame analyst was Keanu Deguchi. Want to also remind you and let you know that our next broadcast will be January 26th on Thursday as Arizona State plays host to the Colorado State Rams. For my partner, Now Cooper, I'm Brett Vaughn, reminding you of tonight's final score. Oregon splitting the weekend with Arizona State by the score of 4-1. Thank you so much for tuning in, and so long from Oceanside Ice Arena.